Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon to my friends in Europe. I am Mark Sebastian. I am your only option. I am joined by the Queen of the Candles, Leisha J. Leslie from the kitchen. I'm joined by Andrew T. for Too Much Fun Giovinazzi, and he's in his office. Hold up. Apparently your heat's not working again. And, of course, our Imperial Overlord of Income, the man, the myth, the legend. Hi there. The man, the myth, the legend. He is our income aficionado. He is Hans J. Albrecht. Good morning.
He's 6 for 6. His first 6 trades. Six
That
for
is
6.
incredible.
Congratulations, Hans. That's fantastic.
We are
pretty good.
Normally, obviously, we're in interesting times. As the Chinese would say, may you live in interesting times. We are certainly living those. And we are seeing the market kind of mixed. And, right now, the NASDAQ's down, the Dow is up, the Russell's up. VIX, weekend adjusted, is down. Vol's coming in. And there's been kind of a key shift over the last couple days in just the volatility feel of this market. I don't know if you guys sense that. Like, the market's just tired of news.
Yeah.
And it's just powering through it.
I agree.
I'm feeling sensing that.
Andrew, you literally look like you're freezing.
Well, what's funny is the heat does work. I just opened my office door. So I'm actually not freezing, but I opened my office door. I wanted to get some fresh air in the office.
All right.
It's actually nice out.
So for this week, now we're gonna get back to our format once the market. Normally, we would break down one stock and we'd all kind of give our take. With the market the way it's been, that's been a real moving target, picking one name because things can fly around so much. So I asked everybody to kind of give a brief breakdown of where they see the market and what's happened, and then a name that they like. Now, for me, I broke down I've been, if you watch my State of the Market show I've been breaking the market down into 3 levers: bonds, VIX, and Russell and small caps. Today's the first day those have really come together and really doing their stuff. Bond market looks pretty strong. VIX is getting absolutely annihilated, and the vol futures curve is flattening up. And the Russell 2000 is leading us. And I gave you a simple plan. I like the Russell 2000 195 calls for Friday or May 5th, either Friday or Monday, because I believe the Russell is going to hit 200 by the end of the week, probably a little bit higher than that. I like it to lead us this week. It's going to be an interesting week with all the earnings, but that's where we are. Now, Leisha laid out kind of how she sees the market. I'm going to let her go through that. And then her stock was a stock that did not have a great week last week. And maybe she's looking to take advantage of that. So, Leisha, why don't you walk us through what you're looking at?
Sure. Good morning, everyone. Let me add my screen. There we go. I just want to point out every index except diamonds has crossed that downtrend line. I was watching for ES. Friday was kind of questionable. This morning, we have it happening. SPX is over. Look at how well I cleaned up my SPX chart. Look how beautiful it has followed that pitchfork.
Oh, wow.
That was the bottom. The bottom.
It's weird how that works like that, Lee.
Isn't that amazing?
Who knew?
Q's looking good. I agree, Mark, with you. IWM's looking good. I'm bullish. The only thing that has not crossed is the diamonds. They're close, though.
Yeah.
Not there yet.
They have a United Healthcare / IBM problem that has been problematic for the diamonds.
Right.
Yeah.
Speaking of IBM, I know that my rule with gapping is you wait a couple days. I think the fact that IBM is holding my median line here and the rest of the market's picking up some steam, I think you're going to see IBM close that gap. That's
good.
What
We're long that in our pro session.
We're looking up to 238.61.
Call calendars.
243.66 closes that gap.
243.66. You heard it here.
And
Leash is
you
looking
have a
for
nice
$10
stop loss there on the median line, 229.40.
So you've got big upside and a tight downside stop. You're looking for about $10 upside, and you're only willing to risk about 3 on the down. Makes total
Perfect,
sense.
right?
Yeah, that's great risk reward. You're getting about 2-to-1 risk reward. You couldn't ask for better than that.
And look how well it's followed this pitchfork. So
Yeah,
I'm trusting it. That's my idea.
I like that idea a lot. Andrew, what do you got?
Let's see. Am I sharing my screen here? I think I did. Have I done this
Doesn't look
before?
like it, Andrew.
Have I done this before?
Only a million
Sometimes I'm
times.
not sure, Andrew. Sometimes I'm not sure.
Also, is everybody feeling a little more bullish or more bearish? You want to fade this rally? Put
That's
your
a great
comments in.
question.
Put your
That's great.
comments in. We want to see what because I got a lot of savvy traders in here. I want to see what everybody's thinking. So was my stock. I bought some more of this stock on the dip, and I'm actually kind of looking to buy some calls. So,
And the stock is Pinterest?
Pinterest. I guess that would help. So I don't know what happened. Everybody loved it. It was $40. Probably cheapest social media property out there. People love it, making lots of money, and 35% off sale. I bought a bunch more down here. I'm also just going to go buy some calls. Sometimes I just don't try not to make things too complicated, but 31, 32 calls here. The stock was $40. No, they haven't announced anything bad, nothing at all. I think like if you want a little cheapy option, August 32, 33 calls. Just saying. I think there's some pretty good risk reward on that. I don't know what Leisha's little magic charts say, but that's why I always ask her because I can never do it. But it does, again, I cannot find any news at all. It's had a lot of good earnings. So
And they don't have a lot of
my pick. Good stocks. I don't know if you saw my Regeneron from last week. I think it was trading 550. I think we're trading 600 now.
And this
as
company
biotech kind of pulls back, trading 608. Not too bad of a stock. I bought some more of that too. So you have, the market's going nuts. You got to look around for stocks that are good stocks, good companies, make money, and they're just selling everything because they're freaked out. So keep your opportunity radars flashing. There you go.
Well, you have a really good price to earnings ratio. 10. It's got a price to earnings ratio of 10, and it's social media. They don't have debt.
I know. I don't get it.
They don't have debt, and that's the big one. And you're right. They make a lot of money. This is a good long-term hold. And I know Lauren uses Pinterest some. Leisha, do you use Pinterest?
I totally get their emails, and I always look at it. I look at what they're sending me, and I open it. Yes, I actually do. It's kind of fun.
All right.
Even
Andrew, what's on your
fashion?
Wow, which is like 0 time. Like that never happens.
Andrew, do you have a chainsaw pin board of like chainsaws you want to own? That's what the crowd wants to know.
You know what? I've seen kind of these. You can take your chainsaw and they soup it up. They can soup it up. That's kind of like my dream, I guess. But I'm not. I haven't done it yet.
The pimped out chainsaw. I love it.
A pimped out chainsaw. Is Pins better than Reddit? Well, I bought more Reddit too, William. I actually bought Reddit in the 80s.
Yeah, me too.
Like Mark, remember we first saw it and we're like, oh man, if this stock ever gets 100. I had some GTCs in from like December or something.
Yeah. This
and
stock
they all
gets
got
I said this stock gets to 100. I'm buying as much as I can. And I did. Pins really interesting, Andrew. This is a good one. I kind of like the play. We're gonna take a hard look at this one. Speaking of hard looks, a soft look is coming from our favorite Canadian. Yeah, you heard me say that, Justin. Our favorite Canadian, Hans J. Albrecht. Hans, what are your thoughts on this market? And I know that you want to take a look at one of those kind of downturn-proof names, a name that has served you well in at Option Pit Turbo Income. Why don't you talk about what you're looking at?
It has served me well. And you know what? If it ain't broke, don't fix it yet. Wait for the market to tell you that you need to fix it. So yeah, it's tough. It's been a tough market, but lately I think we're experiencing one of these great examples of climbing the wall of worry, right? We are climbing and climbing. We have taken off some of those existential risk problems that we were worried about at 4,900. And we're back to kind of, there's a little bit of hopium being smoked that they're going to come to some sort of deal. Hopefully one by one, we'll start seeing deals, and then that's going to be positive. From a headline standpoint, there'll be a positive stream of good things coming out. But we're coming off of, VIX 60 and daily ranges that we haven't seen since the global financial crisis. So I think there's been some room for a little dialing back of fear. But having said that, there's still, the 10-year is still where it is. The VIX futures curve is improving, as you mentioned, Mark. The US dollar, I'd like to see that rally a little bit to confirm. Credit spreads are kind of narrowing a little bit. So, apart from all that complicated stuff, I think things are looking okay. But, you look at like earnings revisions, they're coming down and stuff like that. So I think I think for me, the market has rallied back. That's wonderful. We've done really well. We're 6 of 6 trades in turbo income. So we've played this very well. But I'm just kind of getting maybe a little bit more defensive here just before, I want the market to show me that it's starting to get a little bit more comfortable with the level. Everyone's kind of looking at that 5,500 going, that's got to be the top. So in my view, I think there's still potential for a little bit more of an unwind of that bearishness. We push a little bit higher just to confuse the bears a little bit more. So, but along the lines of what I'm thinking for the rest of this year, assuming that it's not going to be smooth sailing the whole time, is I'd like these names, right? My Netflix name from last week, that was my pick. That hit all-time high. So I've been pounding the table about that for a while. And Costco is kind of almost in that category of like kind of almost growth defensive and like a safe harbor kind of stock that doesn't get affected as much by tariffs and things like that. Now, Costco, of course, it's goods. It does have some tariff impact, but let me tell you what's great about it. So it's a member-driven model that leads to recurring resilient revenue, right? So a lot of people maybe don't realize that a giant bulk of their revenue comes from their memberships. So those renewal rates. And people are very, very loyal. In good times and bad, people are very loyal. They don't get rid of their Costco memberships, which is, of course, why would you? In good times, you'd like to save money, and in bad times, you have to save money, right? So you're not going to give up your membership. So you have this sort of very nice kind of trickle drip of revenue type kind of model that people are going to like in a difficult environment. And so you have this scale as well, right? Costco is like a Walmart, like these big companies that have these, they're able to negotiate these great supplier prices, and the massive volume that they do just gives them more and more scale advantage, as well as that consumer goodwill that I talked about. So strong free cash flow. We talked about valuation on pins. Valuation is not its strong suit. Okay, so Costco is like a 50 multiple. So this is not a cheap stock. But if we continue to have a difficult environment, I think investors pay up for that quality, that certainty of revenue, and that sort of defensive safe harbor nature that Costco has. So that's kind of my pick right here. I like it. I think you can go from a turbo income standpoint. We've got a trade on, but I'm probably going to add another one. And I'd be looking at, June's about 55 days? I think about 55 days. And you could sell, maybe like an 890, 880, grab about $1.50. That targets about 17 to 18% return on that trade. So that's something you could consider if you want exposure to a really great company like Costco.
I like that as an income play. That's a great income play. Flip into my screen, please. The pins trade, I really like that as an investment. I'm not sure on a trade whether that's going to make the kind of move. Earnings are the 8th, so we got that in the way a little bit. I'm not sure it's going to do anything until earnings, but those earnings are probably going to be good. So if you're sitting there and asking yourself, do I want to own some pins upside, some pin stock or pins upside? The answer is yes. However, with earnings coming up, it doesn't make as good of a trade. IWM, I've already kind of laid out. I'm already long it. It's already making its move, which leads us to IBM. And, so Hans's put spread, brilliant idea. If you're in turbo income, you're in good hands. He's going to be back on Friday talking income with you guys. Andrew's idea is a great investment. He's on top of a great trader. He's a great investor. I like that idea. I'm probably going to go buy some pins. Just being honest. However, from a trade perspective, I really like Leish's idea on IBM. The risk reward there is awesome. Leisha, do you have a time frame on that 243 target?
Implied vols come down quite a bit. The price of the options has come down quite a bit.
Yes, IBM is now kind of in the zone. So I'm doing a special situation starting Wednesday, and it's going to be all post earnings plays. Similar to what we're looking here at IBM. And the reason why I love waiting for earnings, and Leisha pointed this out, this red line is implied volatility. Another name for implied volatility is the price of options. It's option prices. Super simple, super easy. Option prices on Apple on IBM have not been this low since February. So they're pricing IBM options like the last month and a half never happened.
Yeah, I agree. Especially the May 16s and the June 6th.
Yeah, back in, and here's my point, right? So IBM option prices, call it 25. Last time it was there was end of February. All right, now VIX is our measure of overall option prices for the market. So the S&P, currently it's about 2049. Back in February, when IBM was at the levels that we just discussed, option prices for the market as a whole were 18. So market prices are still really high for options, and IBM is normalized. That makes those options really attractive, folks. Makes me want to own them.
I agree.
Well, thank you. I would hope you would, considering I'm doing your stock. If you didn't, I'd have a problem.
I agree with you on the price of the options.
Yes. So, Leisha, are you thinking like Friday? Are you thinking next Friday? I like this week as a whole to go up.
I would consider taking it a little longer term to give it a chance to trade up $12. You know what I mean?
All right.
I would
like the way
consider
you're talking, Leisha.
maybe beginning of June or
All
May
right.
16. May 16th, yeah, that gives you some time.
About 18 days till May 16th. May 30th, you have a little more time. I'm looking at these 235 calls. All right, here we go. The May 23rd. So these are going to have 25 days to expire, basically a month. And I'm paying $5 for one call on the May 23rd, 235 call. Leisha's right, and in the next 10 days, this thing goes 242, which usually is. These calls will near double. Yeah. Super easy trade. Super fun. Should be quick because Leisha's trades are usually fast acting. It's not as easy to find a cheap option in this market, but $5 on a $2, 25 days out, the stock is $235, and the calls are 0.5% out of the money.
Yeah.
That is not expensive, folks. So
I like IBM's quantum exposure, Mark. It's kind of made them a little bit hip again. It's kind of made them from big blue to big new. I just coined that right now.
IBM, I like that, big blue to big new. IBM is always at the cutting edge and then gets rid of the technology before it can get to to
there
showing
is some
its use
truth
case.
to that. Yeah,
they'll have. It's amazing. I got a neighbor that works there, and their culture is really weird. It's just like we innovate, and as soon as we innovate, we decide we're not going to do anything with it. So
that's like my
think
golf
about it.
game.
Watson was
I'm really
20
great
years
for
ago.
I was going to say, it's like my golf game. I'm great for 17 holes, and then I take like a 20 on the last hole.
I mean,
Just stop at
Watson was
17,
20 years
Hans.
ago.
That's right,
Watson
yeah.
was beating.
Or just stop at the first 9.
Yeah, it's true.
So, all right. So for IBM, we're buying the May 23rd 235 call for $5. Now, let me update you on our free portfolio. Amazon is flattish to up. Our Amazon 195 calls are right around $5.20. So we'll say we're down a couple basis points. Our Google calls are a different story, though. We bought the 175 calls for January 2026. Those calls are up to $12.80. I know I wanted to get 15 out of it, but I'm going to take the easy win and know that I'm still long. I've got that IBM exposure now, and I've got that Google exposure, and so I am just going to sell my call at $12.80. Take the win, right? Why fight it? Good. So we made 49% in a week on that, and I still have high hopes for Amazon. I will be closing Amazon, but before Friday, though, regardless, before their earnings. The earnings are the 1st, so that means I've got to close them by Thursday, and I will be doing that. So there's an update on our free portfolio. I still like those Google calls long term, but $5 in a week is $5. That's $500 on one call. I'm going to take it.
Pretty
all right.
good.
Do we have? Yeah, William says nice profit in Google. Yes. Do we have any questions for us? So I'm going to input this trade right now in IBM, and then I'll go out and find it in a little, I'll find it here. May. I can't believe it's May already. Can you guys?
I know.
Almost.
I mean, to be fair, the last month has seemed like a century. So,
Been a blur.
This is true.
All right, and now I have added this into our portfolio, so that you can now see it. Leisha, we are taking your calls, and there you have it. Did a Google call spread last week. Closed it Friday for 50% profit in 4 days. Nice, Northport, Florida man. We love that.
Very good.
Hey,
right.
Mark, I remember you were talking about this with the Mag 7. Google is now solidly a teen PE.
I think it's so cheap.
It is
now they've got risk,
teenager.
right? They have AI. They have real risk on the AI front, but it is really cheap, and I believe YouTube is their most valuable asset long term. I mean, think about it. We're going to post this on YouTube.
Yeah, like what else does Google own besides YouTube and I guess Android?
They own a lot. All right. Well, everybody, there you have it. We are buying IBM calls. We broke down the market for you. We like Pinterest as a long-term investment. We love Costco as an income play. You can check Hans on Friday for that. And then tomorrow, Tuesday, Leisha is joining me for our State of the Market. Where she is going to break down the exact levels she is watching in the S&P 500, in the Russell, in the IWM in detail. We're going to kind of parse through them, and then that'll be your opportunity to get one last swing at joining her masterclass. You can click the link in above our video here or pin to the chat. And if you maybe can squeeze one or two people into my masterclass, give my team a call, 888-872-3301, and talk to them about getting that top-notch trading education. All right, folks. For our one and only Leisha J. Leslie.
Thanks,
and
everyone.
of course, Andrew T. Giovinazzi and Hans Albrecht. I am Mark Sebastian. I am your only option. We hope you have a wonderful trading week.